The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to episode 64 of Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, the music and the industry, and anything else related to rock and heavy metal. This episode we are taking a look back, we are going back to 2005 when Download Festival started doing something we're going to talk about for the first time, and that was having an indie day on the Friday, because we're going to be talking about Queens of the Stone Age. I'm sorry, I thought I'd get a disapproving look from you, Simon. Yes, no, this episode is all about Queens of the Stone Age. We're going to have a deep dive into them and talk about as much as we possibly can. I am Adam, and as always, I'm here with Simon. How you doing, man?
Hello, good day to you, sir. I did not like your intro for this episode.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think you would. I was just...
It was
just
good,
messing.
though. I liked it. I'm joking. It was good.
And also this episode, we are joined by Stu. How are you doing, man?
Good morning, good evening. Where are we? I don't know. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that you've wanted me back, so that's nice. It's lovely to be here. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining us. And I did say last episode, Stu will be joining us for the next 3 episodes for the entire episode. So we did, I guess, I kind of shortchanged him a little bit the last couple of times he came on, and we had to kind of rush the end of it. And I felt bad ever since. And he said he wanted to come back on as well. So we were like, well, we'll get you on for 3 full episodes.
Everyone's going to get their fill. They're full of stew.
That's it. Feel the full force. That's it. Don't get pushed aside by the likes of I don't know, Chids or someone.
Chids.
Get a dig into Chids straight away, yeah. Fuck you, Chids. Fuck you, Chids, you bitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got after these 3 episodes. I think we worked out we got 3 episodes until we do our proper countdown to download. So we'll have Chids on those 3, and then he can have his digs back. It'll be like a long game of tennis.
Gonna get a war going.
6 weeks until you get to say I don't know what word it is, but yes, you know what I mean. Simon, this is weird. All of us, it's throwing me a little bit, but yeah, Simon. The last couple of weeks, how have you been? Anything new? Anything interesting?
No, not really. Nothing much has happened. No, I'm a lot less stressed out than I was a few weeks ago. The storm has calmed, so yeah, no, I'm feeling good. Just nothing really. Just excited about doing these episodes and building up to deload and just festival season in general. I'd like just January just made me think, oh my god, man, I just can't wait to literally just be standing in a field just watching some tunes, man, because like just never look forward to it so much. So yeah.
You say festival season. You do. Which ones have you already decided you're going to be doing this year?
I might go to Takedown, possibly.
Portsmouth.
Yeah, Portsmouth. Definitely Download, obviously. Probably going to do Trees, although I don't like the lineup at all. But it's so close, and everyone I know goes, so going to go to that. Not going to Bloodstock this year. Going to Korn instead.
Going to Korn. Yeah.
So I might go to Bloodstock for a day because I was speaking to Alex about that. We might go to Bloodstock for the Saturday and then leave and then head down to Korn. We don't know yet, but yeah, Bloodstock not a full time this year, unfortunately. But anyway, the lineup's good, but it's still not enough on there to make me really miss it this year. So yeah.
Who's on the Saturday that you're thinking of going for?
I can't remember.
Okay, no.
I hope Malevolence are playing on the Saturday. I don't think they've done the day.
Architects are headlining.
Yeah, I don't think they've done the day splits for that.
Oh right, okay.
I think it's still just the poster. So
yeah. I think by the looks of it, the only 2 I can remember actually seeing that potentially on the Saturday was Architects definitely, and then Malevolence potentially. But Bloodstock's website's not the best in seeing the lineup. Like you have to flick through the stages. So
No.
there is a poster out there, but
yeah, we've said it before. Their
finding
website is literally like something from 1998. Like when the internet first got invented, that's what their website looks like. I kind of like it because it gives it character, but also it's not a great website. So say what you will about download, but they've got a really really good website. Like it looks fantastic. It's easy to use. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway,
On that note, Stu, we'll get to you in a minute. But something that came up in the Discord. Only a few days ago, Bloodstock were meant to have an announcement, weren't they, this week? They pushed it back to next week, but nobody told the people who run the website, so they actually leaked their own bands. There was like 18 new bands that leaked.
I did not know any of this. Where have I been?
Yeah, so,
didn't
you?
So rather than there being a leaked poster, whoever runs the website, whether it was just going to automatically update or whatnot, I don't know. But now if you go on it may have been removed by now, but if you look on the stages, there's 18 bands that weren't on there previously. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we know who those bands are? Did anyone get a quick peek?
We can find out. Somebody put them in the Discord, yeah.
Oh, okay.
In true Bloodstock fashion, I didn't know a single band. So
the only one I knew of was Soen.
Soen. Yeah,
I knew of them because they played Download last year. But yeah, I didn't know any of the others either.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's on the it's on our Discord, Simon. Go and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look
at some point. In the Bloodstock page, yeah. I think this will be coming out like a couple of days before Bloodstock. Well, yeah, no, the point I was going to make was I haven't seen anybody else talking about it other than in our Discord.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they put a thing up of all the food vendors that are going to be there, and I looked in the comments thinking, someone's going to just let them know, right? Someone's going to say, you want to sort your website out, or be that person who tells everybody else in the comments that you can check out the new bands over there, but there's nothing. It's like,
I don't know any of them. I've heard of a few of those bands, but I don't know them. I haven't listened to any of them, apart from a couple we might have listened to for a download sort of catch up on bands. But yeah, nothing there that makes me go, oh, I have to go to Bloodstock.
Yeah,
they might be very good. I just don't know. Yeah,
best announcement's the fact that the gyozas are going to be there again.
The what?
Gyozas?
Who are they?
As in the food. Japanese gyozas.
Oh, I was like, what band is he talking about?
It's the gyozas, man.
They were absolutely incredible last year, by the way.
Yeah. I think that's some of the best festival food I've ever had.
Yeah. It was really, really, the food was great. The whole festival was great last year. It was such a good time, but the food was banging. Absolutely banging. Loved it. But yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, Stu, we'll get back to you now. Sorry. So if anybody hasn't seen Stu before or heard him, he came on to us. Ooh, looking forward to that this year. Sorry. Messaged us and basically offered to help us out with a few little bits. He's been helping out running the Discord. We've had him on a few times now, but like I said, I feel like we've shortchanged him a little bit, having to rush the episodes towards the end because we have people coming on after him as well. So we said we'll get you on for a few episodes, a few full episodes. So here he is. Stu, how are you doing, my man? How have you been since we last spoke?
Yeah, very good. Trying to keep busy. Had a gig. Was it last night? I lose track. I had a gig 2 nights ago. That was it. We had Malevolence at KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton, which is an excellent venue. If there's anyone local that needs, to get a new venue, it actually belongs to KK, who is the original guitarist for Judas Priest. And essentially all he's done is he's bought this old steel mill, literally just this old warehouse, and just kitted it out as a venue. So that's now my local stomping ground, if you will.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
So
as fuck.
Malevolence there was brilliant.
Wicked.
Yeah. Two things on that. Yeah, I'm glad you said about that because you put a post up on social media just saying, yeah, we're at a gig and a picture of yourself. But you didn't say who you were going to see. I was like, oh, I want to know who you're seeing.
No? Oh, okay.
But also, yeah, KK Steel Mill. I've seen that loads over the last probably, 6 months? And I was thinking, I've never heard of this venue before. And now everyone's playing there. Is it quite new then?
It's fairly new. I can't say exactly when it did open, but I'd say it was maybe just pre-lockdown, maybe. It came about because primarily because I'm from Wolverhampton, we had the Civic Hall, which is like that was like the main venue, short of like O2 Academy in Birmingham and like your different arena in Birmingham. But that's been under refurb for probably like 6 or 7 years now. So we haven't had any bands come into Wolverhampton at all.
Yeah.
So KK's opened just before lockdown. Unfortunately, lockdown happened, but now it's opened up again. It's as though all the bands have kind of forgotten that the Civic exists.
Right.
And now everyone's playing the KK's, which is it's brilliant, really, because I much prefer KK's as a venue because it's a lot more quirky. And, it's just that vibe as well. It's gritty. It's quite dirty, but no, it is really good.
Awesome. That sounds cool, man.
Cool. Yeah. Nothing really new from me since last time. I don't think. No, nothing at all I can think of, to be honest. I've done nothing. It was January. Oh no, it was my birthday, but that really, I didn't really do much for my birthday. We got a curry.
I was going to say birthday curry with the candle.
Yeah,
what more do you
that
want?
was an old picture. I was meant to say that was an old picture. It was like 6 years ago, but I'm always proud of that. But I got a new hand blender for the kitchen, so it was nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow!
Someone's getting an ironing board for their birthday. No, no, I wanted it. I asked for it. I've been wanting it for ages. Or hand or electric whisk, because I hate whisking stuff. I got a blender in there as well. So
how much stuff are you whisking? How much are you just whisking all the time in the kitchen
loads.
or something?
You whisking on the daily, or?
I bloody hate whisking. All this whisking that I end up doing.
Well, my last couple of weeks have brought about an interesting conversation after all. But we're not going to carry on any more about whisking. Shall we talk about Queens of the Stone Age?
Yes.
First of all, I'm going to ask: were either of you surprised, or were you expecting them to be announced as headliners?
I don't think there was any speculation that they may have been there. I don't think anyone had got them down.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody.
No, came out of nowhere.
Although they have been on my list of bands that I've always wanted to see. So for me, this is a bucket list tick. Because if you would have asked me for my list of bands that I've always wanted to see, that either never had the chance to or have had the chance but didn't take it, Queens of the Stone Age would have been on there. So I was happy about it, but it wasn't something I was expecting. I wasn't like,
no.
I think Queens of the Stone Age are going to headline this year, no problem. But when they came, I was like, oh, okay. To be fair, I like Avenged. I do like Avenged. I have liked Avenged for a while. I've got a lot more into them now than I was back in the day. But I was thinking Avenged, okay. Fall Out Boy, completely mediocre reaction. But Queens was the headliner that I was the most excited about. Yeah,
awesome. I've got to be honest. I haven't really followed anything they've done since. Well, I probably haven't heard any of their songs since playing No One Knows on Guitar Hero back about 20 years ago. So I wasn't expecting it at all, not even in the slightest. If someone said to me they'd be playing, I wouldn't have known where to put. Well, if I were to have to choose, I honestly wouldn't have known where to put them on the lineup, whether how popular they are now or not. But I think
I was very
surprised.
So many other bands on people's radars that it just wasn't even considered, was it?
It's true.
You had people thinking Blink-182, Limp Bizkit. We got them in the end, but people were thinking they'd headline.
Yeah.
So for Queens of the Stone Age to just come out of nowhere when the last time we saw them, they just played during the day on main stage.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they did just pop in there. I mean, it's probably a surprise that they're headlining, but it's not a surprise that they are headliners because, I mean, they've headlined a stage at Glastonbury before. They're always very high up on the Reading and Leeds lineups. I think they were sub-headlining for someone in 2013. Can't remember who that was. So they've always been towards the upper echelons, and now they've been a band since 1998, so a long time. So it's understandable they are headlining, but we probably weren't expecting them to actually headline.
No,
so
that's it. No. I think it's just diverting from the regular recycled bands, isn't it? As soon as we've had something fresh last year, they thought, oh, let's keep it fresh, and everyone's just surprised to see these new bands. I think that's all it is, really.
Yeah, and that is good because, to be fair, even if you're not a fan of this lineup overall, not just headliners, it is different. Like,
yeah,
you can't not say that it isn't different. So at least we're getting a different form of download this year. And, we'll probably get Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, and System of a Down next year,
That's it.
Of course. Yeah. No, we had, going off a little bit, we had people talking about, it might have even been you, Stu, talking in the Discord about how it'll probably be Sleep Token next year.
Yeah, it would not surprise me at all. I mean, as of today, and the day of recording, the pre-sale started at 10 o'clock, and I think all the pre-sale tickets were gone by 25 past. I know there's quite a few people out there that I know personally that are not expecting it to sell out, so maybe pick up tickets closer to the time, but I don't think that's going to play out well, to be honest.
No, it's not going to work.
It seems like the tickets are just going to fly out, yeah. And to see them, when did I first saw them at the pilot, and at the pilot you had the main stage, and then you had the tent almost, which I'd say is the size of the third stage currently. I'd say
it was about that, maybe a tiny little bit bigger, but about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So to go from seeing them there to then them, selling out arenas within the area of tickets going on sale is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's cool to see though. It's cool to see a new band doing so well. I mean, that will drum up even more hate for them, because that's what it does when you get popular. But it is what it is, isn't it? They don't care. I'm sure they don't give a fuck. So who cares?
Nah.
But if that was to be welcomed, Sleep Token for headlining, not just next year, but for any year, that'll just bring in the new generation. And it'll keep download going, keep recycling, and it'll just unfortunately cease to exist.
Yeah. Yeah, bringing it back to this year, I think you're right. I think going different with bands, we can have the legacy acts headline as well, but you should definitely always have, a new-ish headliner. We're talking, 10 years to 15, sometimes a little bit past that, but just fresh acts that people haven't seen headline the festival. I like what they're doing with it now. And like you said, this is the reason why Monsters of Rock dried up, because they wouldn't move with the times and they just used the same bands.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, I don't want to see these people. I'm going to go to Reading and Leeds because that's where all the cool new bands are playing. So you just don't want that to happen to download.
Trendy bands.
Yeah, trendy.
Trendy, because we're old. It's the trendy and new hip bands.
But let's be honest, right? Someone who, and this is no diss to the band at all, right? But is someone who's new to rock music want to see a really weird, mystical band that makes fucked up music like Sleep Token? Or do they want to see an 80-year-old Lars Ulrich sweating his bollocks off attempting to play the drums? Like,
yeah.
What's more appealing to a young person? So it makes perfect sense why you would have new bands.
And it is younger people that Download are going to want to be trying to attract to the festival, because they're the ones with all the money. We're old and got mortgages and can't afford. We can afford to go, but we don't buy.
These kids have disposable income. They have so much money to spend on beer.
But I'm kind of. I was joking a little bit with that, but it also is the truth. There's a lot of industries who they do keep trying to, like, I can't think of the right words, but their target audience is the people with the most money, which is the younger people who still live at home with their parents. I think I might move home, live with my parents so I can have money again.
That's it. Let's all move back, and then we'll all do RIP next year.
We'll all be able to afford it.
And then you got parents to wash your clothes when you get home, sorted.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's all right. Vicky already does that for me, so I got away with that one.
Yeah. Kelly does ours. Stu, keeping quiet. Do you do yours?
What was that? Sorry.
I said you're keeping quiet. Do you do yours?
After last year at Download, I was very much in the doghouse, so I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. Last year I went on my own, so
you stay clean the whole time.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Just
gave it a brush off and put it back in the wardrobe.
The cleanest man, the best looking man I've ever seen at Download, ever.
Best looking man.
Literally. I was just like, this guy, why does he look like he's literally just been born? He looks brand new.
Been born.
It was a blessing, but this year going general, it's back to the wet wipes, isn't it? So
yeah. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic, mate.
Classic. Yeah.
Classic.
Gura camping.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Back with us.
Gura camping.
Yes, but back to Queens of the Stone Age. Simon,
yes.
do you want to lead us through? That's not the right words. You want to start us off with a little history of them that you said you wrote down?
Yeah, so I'll just run through a quick history of the band. So obviously, as I'm sure you heard from this episode, Queens of the Stone Age are headlining the Friday of Download Festival. So if you don't know who they are, or a little bit more, this is just a little bit of story behind the band before we delve into their music and stuff. So it's difficult to pigeonhole them as a music band because they play alt rock, they play stoner rock, some of it's alternative, some of it's quite proggy, bluesy, rocky. They do seem to meld a lot of stuff together. So it's hard to pigeonhole them as a type genre of band, but they would probably fit into the rock genre somewhere in there / alternative. But they were formed in 1996 in Seattle. And yeah, their musical talent is very good. I think if you're a muso and you like playing an instrument, this is a very good band to listen to because you will listen and go, yeah, these guys are really good. Like, everyone in the band is a very good musician. And the musicians that have been in the band have been great. And the musicians that have come in and out of the band have been great as well. So it's just, from a music standpoint, they are very interesting. But quickly, I'll just mention this before we move on. I think we should mention the band that came before Queens of the Stone Age, because these guys didn't just all of a sudden come from nowhere. Well, most of the band anyway, because they were in a band called Caius before, which was a sort of a stoner rock band from 92 to 95. So they were already part of the music scene, basically. I mean, they toured with Faith No More, Metallica, Danzig, like some absolutely giant acts already. So I think that they already had the contacts to sort of get Queens of the Stone Age off the ground. So yeah, it probably would have been quite an easy transition, because when we get into it, the first Queens of the Stone Age album kind of sounds a bit like Caius, where it's really stonery. So you can hear how they've sort of transitioned from one band to the other. But yeah, and then obviously Josh Homme, who is the most known member of the band, I would say, who's the one who's been the continuation since the beginning. And yeah, he is literally a prolific songwriter. Like, literally, this guy has written and performed and recorded with Caius, Queens of the Stone Age, Eagles of Death Metal, Desert Sessions, Them Crooked Vultures. He's also featured on tracks by bands of Foo Fighters, Mastodon, Biffy Clyro, Ozzy Osbourne, and he's also produced albums for Arctic Monkeys, The Hives, Iggy Pop, and Royal Blood. Like, literally, all within the space of 20 years almost. This man is like just a constant worker who, for some reason, just doesn't like to not make any kind of music. So I think that from that standpoint, they're just a very interesting band, because they are just a big band of musos, and Josh Homme just is involved with fucking everyone, apparently, which is great. Yeah. But there's a comment that I thought that you guys would like. So Dave Grohl described Queens of the Stone Age as the best live band on the planet. And he says he constantly is jealous of how good everyone is in the band. So if Dave Grohl's saying that, you must be fucking good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be good if Dave Grohl's giving you the punch up, basically. And the final thing I will give you guys a little bit info is they were originally going to call themselves the Kings of Stone Age, but they thought it was too manly, so they went with Queens instead. They said it was too butch, too macho, so they were like, Queens. That sounds cooler, I guess. So
so I watched a couple of videos today as well in preparation for this, and I did see that the Kings of I was going to say Kings of Leon then.
They're going to call themselves Kings of Leon.
Kings of
headlining next year.
Stone Age. They said like, the kings wear armor and go and fight people and stuff, and that's not what they wanted to be. They didn't want to have that image. So the queens of the kings hang around with other kings' wives or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's a very cool band name. Like, there's no other band name like it. It's very good, and it can be shortened to sort of the
QOTSA. And then as soon as you see that, you know it's Queens of the Stone Age.
It's true. You know that is so true. Yeah, it's very.
Works.
Yeah, you could just see it. So yeah, I like the band name. I think it's cool.
Yeah, there's a bit later on than that, but I swear every band that was around sort of 2010 to 2014ish chose a name specifically on how it would look abbreviated. I'm sure they did. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know if you if it was just a thing that was round here or everywhere.
I'm sure bands go, "Oh, that's a really cool band name," and then they try and like abbreviate it, and they go, "Oh, it doesn't work." Oh, do you know what? If we change that word to that word, it's going to look really good. Like
whatever
definitely.
looks best on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. You got to. It's all about marketing yourself in a band these days. It doesn't really matter as long as your logo looks good. Who gives a fuck what the band name is?
But did you know that there was another name that they were going to call Queens of the Stone Age, but it was taken by somebody else?
Wizards? No, what was it? Something? Was it Wizards or something? I can't remember.
Gamma Ray.
Oh, that was it. Gamma Ray. That's a cool name as well.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, hang on, there's a Gamma Ray already. And it said, and it went on to say, there was I think they were actually told them off. The Gamma Ray actually wrote to them and said that we'll sue you or something if you use our name.
Oh shit!
Wargasm never got that.
Wargasm
anyway.
US, Wargasm UK.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, so on that actually, the videos. Could you said about how musicians will probably like them, and that's one thing I was thinking today. I was watching a couple of videos about the songwriting and how he writes them and what's in them, and it was really interesting. And it's been a long time since I've thought about that sort of thing. I did a lot in college and university, but I don't know, I can't really describe it. But yeah, it was all about like how they recorded and what kind of amps and everything and what the rooms were like, and it was really interesting, and I can't really describe it in any more detail than that. But,
no, that is cool though. Yeah, no, I like that. I like those like football. Those why am I thinking about football? Those documentaries where you get to see the behind the scenes and you see the rooms and the production and you see stuff being mixed. Especially being a musician, they are really interesting to watch. Yeah. Even for people that aren't musicians, I think that seeing behind the curtain of how a band records and produces stuff is really interesting to watch. And like you said, especially guys like these that are going to be using these fucking old school 60s amps and like loads of crazy guitar pedals and shit. It is really interesting to watch that unfold and, how songwriting process is and stuff. Yeah, and also it makes you realise, like you said, how much goes on behind the scenes and how much thought they put into what they do as well. I mean, there's going to be loads of bands out there who just get an amp, a few pedals and just play songs, but they obviously have put so much thought into their sound and they've been tweaking it over the years and gone, right, this has to sound exactly the way I want it to, and it has to have the exact feel that I want it to. Yeah. And bands like that, they're obviously going to get places because of, being so different to everybody else, and they know what they're doing, they know exactly. And I said prolific because whenever they do a deluxe version of like an album, there's like 15 other tracks, and it's like, he just wrote all these tracks for this album, but they never actually used them. And you listen to the tracks, and you're like, this could be another album. It's just one of those people that just goes, right, I'm just going to write a song, and then obviously, like you said, all the band comes together, and they just write a fuckload of music. Like, it's quite jealous of people like that. They're just so talented. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll just write a song. Don't like that one. Next, just write another song, no problem. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, and there's something that. Sorry, Stu, go on.
I was just going to say, it's something that was quite impressive when I was listening to because rather than listening to the albums, I've listened to the set list, so we've got a mixture of the years. And certain song came on and I thought, oh, they've released this, 3 years ago maybe, thinking it was off the newer album, because it sounded so well mixed, mastered, and it sounded modern, if you will. It turns out it was off the first album. So the fact it was writing music that's, some bands are trying to write now, on the first release. It's quite impressive. Yeah, I think their production, actually, that's a good thing to point out. I think their production across the board is really good. Like, the quality of their production, the mixing, the mastering, every single album is just great, really great. Mixed like a proper sort of old school, like, stereo mix. Like, some songs, they'll have the drums just in one ear, like you're listening to a fucking record, and everything else will be over here. And I think you're right with that. Even from the first one, the overall sound of the albums are really good, crunchy, bassy, like they just thump basically, which is really, really great. Yeah, I mean the amount of times I had "Song for the Dead" on repeat just to hear that first 20 seconds maybe. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, amazing. Cool. Well, Stu, do you want to go through the set list? So. Also, if anybody else doesn't know, Stu made a whole playlist for Download Festival, and
specifically the logo bands, he was putting their set list in that they're playing at the moment or likely to play. So he's taken the time to go through and find out a lot of these band set lists. So do you want to go through some of the set list or all of the set list if we got time?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, there does seem to be one or two variations on this. They don't seem to play the same set list, night after night, which, probably keeps it fresh for them. But to start off, we've got If I Had a Tail. That's what they're opening with, which is off the Like Clockwork album, 2013. If we carry on through, I'll be honest, I don't know every one of these songs by name, but after you actually listen to me, think, oh, I've heard that so many times before. This is a long one, so Spotify doesn't scroll it. You Think I Ain't Worth a Dollar. Can you finish it, Si? But I feel
I can't remember that.
Like
but I feel
$1 million.
Like a
Millionaire. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, long one. Then we got Sick, 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 which is a standout one for myself, I think. And that is an older tune. 2007, we got that. Feet Don't Fail Me, again, another standout one. See, that's one of the better ones, I think. I think with this album, that was the album that had the most of the songs I preferred, which is Villains. And that was 2017. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the most recent album they've released.
No, there's the In New Times Roman, which came out last year. That's the newest.
Well,
I don't know if there's anything on the set list from it. Yeah.
No, nothing on the set list from the new album. We may see a completely different set list on at Download, but this is just going off their most recent shows.
Well, that's quite weird, actually. I'll just talk about Villains quickly, because you mentioned Villains and you said you really liked it. That's probably my second least favourite Queens of the Stone Age album. Not that any of them are bad. They're all good albums, but as favourites go, I think that has the least amount of good songs on it. Even though it's still a good album, I like Clockwork, the album before it. That's a 9 out of 10 album for me. That is way, way, way up there, almost masterpiece levels. And it was really dark and freaky and weird because he'd had all these complications from having this surgery, and he was bedridden for 4 months, and he had depression, and then he just came out and wrote this absolutely fucking amazing album like Clockwork. And it's the first one that they'd done since 2007, so it was 6 years since the last one. But Villains, I didn't feel like it was as dark. It was a bit more disco-y, and it was produced by Mark Ronson, their guy who produced the Amy Winehouse
Valerie,
stuff. Yeah, but I didn't dig it as much as other albums. It's still good, but I liked Clockwork. It's just incredible. Masterpiece, I think.
I think because I've gone from literally knowing Song for the Dead, Go With the Flow, No One Knows.
Yeah.
I don't know the back catalogue, to be honest. So just dropping into these, I think, that sounds good. But maybe as a fan, you think, this isn't the Queens of the Stone Age that, I know and love. But yeah, I do like the funkiness. And now you've said Mark Ronson, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. They called it dance rock. That's what they called that album. They called it dance rock because it was
Turns
more
out I'm a dance rock fan. So
yeah. Oh, that subgenre. That subgenre is hitting hard.
So carrying on through, we got The Way You Used to Do, again, I think's a banger, proper bop. That's off Villains again. I Sat by the Ocean. Do apologise, that's from Like Clockwork. Song for the Deaf, No One Knows, which I was watching earlier, the performance from 2013. If you go on YouTube, there is actually the Sky Atlantic coverage of Queens of the Stone Age, so you can actually see that at Download.
Nice.
Yeah.
Such a great song. No One Knows. Yeah. No One Knows is easily one of the best rock songs in the last 25, 30 years, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is. It's an absolute banger.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone knows it.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's a banger. As soon as it comes on, you're like, oh, tasty. Dave Grohl's drums on that fucking album are absolutely unreal. Holy shit. Dude, being a bass player, I know you listened to this album before and you said you liked it, but
yeah,
Nick Oliveri and fucking Dave Grohl on that album are just merciless. The entire fucking album One of the best rhythm section sort of performances on an album, like almost ever in the rock world. Just unreal, those two. Fucking Dave Grohl, man.
I think I've said before, I find it really difficult to listen to drums, even if I'm really trying to concentrate to try and listen to them. I get distracted and go off and think about other things. I think it's really. I find it. Really
Wait a minute,
hard.
And you were
natural.
You were a bass player. You're supposed to listen to the drums.
I know that. I used to joke about that when I was in the band. I didn't even listen to my own drummer really. I just sit in the world on my own, playing my own thing. But what I was going to say was, I didn't even know Dave Grohl was like on the whole album. I think at the time he did it when No One Knows came out. Was it around the same time as Tribute? Where he was obviously the drummer for Tenacious D at that point as well. So I thought he was just going around.
2001. It was within the same time, yeah. Because
the same sort of time,
2001, 2002, yeah, around there.
Yeah. So I didn't know he was like technically in the band for that album and did the whole album until today.
Yeah. So they were both 2001. So yeah, you're right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Grohl was in the band the whole time. He even done the whole tour with them. Like,
did he?
At the time, if you would have seen Queens of the Stone Age, you would have seen Queens of the Stone Age with Dave fucking Grohl on drums. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
that's unreal. Like, there are videos online of them playing some festivals around the time, and they play Song for the Dead, and Dave Grohl is just absolutely smashing the shit out of those drums. It's fantastic to see. Yeah, would have loved to have seen him then. My God.
That would be the only time you'd see Dave Grohl at Download anyway.
Oh! Did you hear that, Andy coughing? Shots fired.
I was about to say shots fired. I don't know. It always seems like they're going to want to choose either Glastonbury or Reading and Leeds over Download. But you never know. We might get them.
They seem too big money, I think, Foo Fighters, but then you look at Reading and Leeds getting them, so it makes you wonder. Well, I suppose they are playing 2 days, so they've probably got bigger money to, give.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I don't know. Doesn't Reading and Leeds sell out all the time before the tickets even before the
I mean, it sells out pretty much every year, but I don't think it sells out. It's not like Glastonbury quick.
Okay.
But it does sell out quite a lot. It sells out more than Download does.
Yeah.
But again, do you know why? Because it attracts young people.
Because it's fresh.
And Bring Me the Horizon last year attracted all the young people and it sold out. I mean, obviously Metallica had a bit to do with that as well, but I don't think it would have sold out if it didn't have Bring Me the Horizon on the lineup. So,
no, am I right in thinking? Did 2012 last time Metallica played? Did that actually sell out?
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
That was the last year before this last year to sell out.
I thought as much.
Yeah. It. So it did. I think we said before we don't. Oh, well, I'm not sure if Simon knows actually, but I know I've said I'm not sure on whether it was like all the day tickets as well sold out. Literally last year, everything sold out. Every single ticket for every day.
Yeah. I don't know that. We know it was a sellout, but we don't know what their sellout is. But now we know more about the festival. We know that every single fucking ticket you could get your hands on completely went last year. So it might be the only time that Downloaders truly sold out. And some people would agree with that because Bring Me the Horizon played. But yeah, did you get it? Sold out. So it's a play on the words. Yeah.
Right. Queens of Quatsa. Let's go back to Quatsa. Are we cool now? Are we young and down with the kids? If we say Quatsa, no, because they're not.
I mean, we're all 25, so we're obviously young. So.
I'm 21.
Oh, you're 21. Yeah. We're 25. Forgot.
Do you want to carry on going through some of the set list? Yeah,
sure. We'll just try and fly through them. So then we've got Evil Has Landed, In the Fade, Feel Good Hit of
the summer.
The summer. Thank you. The Lost Art of Keeping a Secret, which is a phenomenal tune, I think.
Banger.
Mm-hmm. My God Is the Sun, Smooth Sailing, again, both big tunes. Make It With You, which, fact for you, when I was writing down the songs I actually like, I've got written here. Make It With You, actually corrected to Make It With Chids.
Have you written chids so much that it's just auto-correcting it to chids?
So chid has made it to my autocorrect.
On Pornhub. every day. Chids.
r/chids on Reddit.
There should be. If there isn't one, there should be. We'll make it.
We'll make it. Make it with chids. Right.
Is that the porn or the Reddit subreddit? I don't. I was talking about the porn.
To be fair, I'll be the barber.
You're gonna
Chids
love
can be Ozzy.
Make It With You. Just looks like it's such a good song live as well.
Sorry.
Jesus, you've killed him. I was saying, Make It With You looks like it's such a good live song as well. I really can't wait to jive to that track, man.
Yeah, I think that's what's got me thinking what it's actually going to be like, because normally what you expect with headliners is like upbeat after upbeat after upbeat. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I saw it anyway, but there's quite a few slow ones within the set list.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna come for them. It's gonna be, they're gonna do a couple of slow ones, they're gonna do a fast one, maybe 2 or 3 fast ones, then a fucking weird proggy one. I think that's why it will be quite interesting to watch what they do, because I know that they aren't going to have an elaborate, massive stage show. They're just going to concentrate on playing good music. So
yeah,
that's what I'm most excited about. Can't wait.
Carrying on, Domesticated Animals, Villains of Circumstance, Little Sister, Go With The Flow, which is
banger.
One of the 2 songs that I knew previous to doing my research, and then Song for the Dead, which
nice.
Go out with a bang.
Nice. Yeah, great. All good songs. They're great. Honestly, I can't wait to fucking watch this band live. I really can't. They're just going to be fucking fantastic. And like I said, it's one to tick off my list. They've just been so good and just great. Oh, there was another fact as well that I got. Because you like Feel Good Hit of the Summer, right? He says nicotine, Valium, Vicodin, marijuana, ecstasy, alcohol, cocaine. The reason this song, he says all that, is he was on a night out trying to recall all of the things that he had taken and been in his system. So all of that was in his system at once, which is where the song came from. He said it's not promoting drugs, because he goes, people always think that I'm promoting the use of drugs because I'm making it sound fun. But he's like, I was just literally listing the things that I had taken, because he had real substance abuse issues. So, yeah. He's also married to Brody Dahl of The Distillers.
Yeah, I saw that.
She was his wife from mid-2000s up to a couple of years ago. And they got divorced.
Oh, did they? I think in 2005 they got together.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I was going to say, wasn't it Distillers that have pulled out 2 years in a row?
Yes.
No, it was?
No, it was. It was them.
It was
them.
I was going to say, maybe we'll actually see them this year then, but I didn't know they'd split up.
I don't think it was a very good breakup, and the new album, New Times Roman, is all about the divorce. It's a fucking great album. Literally, slid into probably my top 3 or 4 Queen's albums. It's so good. But when you read the lyrics, whoo, man's going in deep. Deep. Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. Shit.
Well, they actually played a show to a load of recovering alcoholics and addicts. And they opened with that one you just talked about. They didn't even make it through the first song before they were kicked out.
Shut up. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah. He's clean now. I don't think he even has beer anymore. I think he's completely clean. So, yeah. Times have changed, but I'm sure he's consumed enough drugs and alcohol to kill all 3 of us.
Times are new, Roman. Anyway, sorry. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. Well, do you want to talk? We went through the set list. I don't know many of those songs at all. I will listen to them a bit more before Download comes around. But I think it's going to be the same as it was for Bring Me last year. I could not get into them no matter how much I tried before Download. I couldn't even, I'd stick them on and I couldn't even concentrate on it enough to listen to it properly and get through a few songs. So it might change. I probably will watch them with you. And so it might be the exact same story as it was this year. I'll come away this time next year. I'll be telling you how much I love Queens of the Stone Age. But Simon, did you want to go through some of the albums then and tell us a few things about the album, what you like about them, what you don't?
Yeah, I'll quickly run through. I'll do like a quick bit of each album, and I'll say the tracks that I would recommend from them, just so then you guys will know what I'm talking about. So, like I said before, the first album, Queen's Destination '98, obviously they'd come from Caius at that point, so they was really carrying over the sort of stoner. It has a very stoner rock vibe with like, vocals with a lot of reverb on, quite mesmerizing stuff. So just your standard kind of stoner rock stuff. But you could tell it wasn't really like, the band wasn't fully formed. They weren't as proggy as they are now. I don't think the songwriting was quite as strong. And then Nick Oliveri, bass player, came on board after that. And then they done Rated R, which has Feel Good Hit of the Summer, Lost Art of Keeping a Secret, stuff like that on it. That was the album that blew up, right? I have a very vivid memory of opening Metal Hammer in 2000 and seeing that their album of the year was Rated R by Queens of the Stone Age. And I was like, fuck this band. I have never heard of this band before. And Feel Good Hot of the Summer was on one of their compilation CDs. And I was like, that's awesome. But I didn't actually listen to the album until 3 or 4 years later. After they brought out Songs of the Deaf, I thought, I probably should have been listening to this band. Then I went back and listened to Rated R, but I didn't listen to it at the time. But I do always just have that vivid memory of them in the middle of Metal Hammer winning Album of the Year 2000. And, in 2000, I mean, you're up against this is like the fucking height of like amazing music. So they battled out some really fucking good albums to win it. But to be fair, it's a really great album. But yeah, Rated R is great. Really good. Songs to the Deaf, we've already spoken about with Dave Grohl on the drums. But it's actually interesting because if you listen to the album, it has all those weird radio bits in between that we were talking about ads. Do you remember? The reason it has those is because it was inspired by Josh's long drives through the desert. So I think he had to commute from one place to the other. So he was driving through the California desert and obviously just, go between the radio stations and stuff. And that was the inspiration for making the album with those little radio station bits that cut in and out. So now when you listen to it, you're like, I could imagine driving in a car and this is kind of what you're hearing. So I was like, that's awesome. That's made me like the album even more than I did before.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's kind of a concept album in a way, I think, for a car journey. A concept of a car journey.
It's a car journey concept album. Fucking hell. Sorry, Stu, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, the amount of times I've listened to No One Knows, and you got that, it is No One Knows with the Spanish radio at the end.
Yeah,
what the hell's going on? But the amount of times you hear it and you end up kind of knowing it word for word, but you don't know what the hell he's saying. But now it all makes sense.
Yeah. When this is the album, it makes a lot more sense because you're like, okay, we're going in between radio stations. Because it does seem quite. You've got to imagine how many people have listened to that song and haven't listened to the album, and then they're like, "What the fuck is this on the end of this song? Like, what is going on?" So yeah, no, I do love that album though. Songs of Deaf is like, if you're going to listen to, I would say if you're coming in, fresh from Queens of the Stone Age, go and listen to Songs of the Deaf. It's fucking unreal. Honestly, it's got No One Knows on it. First to Give, Take It Away, Song for the Dead, Go with the Flow. It's just fucking unreal. 9 out of 10 for me. Then the next one, Lullabies to Paralyze, is a weird one. I really didn't like it when it came out because I loved Little Sister, the singles. They brought out Little Sister. I watched the video on Kerrang and I was like, that's just as good as anything from Songs for the Deaf. I can't wait for this album. I listened to the album and I was like, I don't like this, but I don't know why I don't like this. Going back to it over the years and now going back to it again, I probably haven't listened to it in about 10 years. I actually really enjoyed it, but it was such a change in direction from Songs of Deaf, because Songs of Deaf was really, like I said, that big pounding rhythm section, all heavy, heavy, heavy. And then they got really dark and really weird on Lullabies to Paralyze. And I was reading something about why. He said we could have done a continuation of Songs of the Deaf, like a part 2, but that's just not the kind of guy that this guy is. He likes to push things forward. He doesn't like to go backwards or do a continuation of what they've already done because he feels like that's not progress, like your typical weird fucking muso people do. So so they were like, no, do you know what? I'm just going to do a really weird album. And like Lullabies to Paralyze is it's quite true because they're really drowsy, weird. It sounds more like if all of Black Sabbath smoked loads of weed and slowed down. That's what this album sounds like. It just sounds like someone's put a Black Sabbath album on and then just turned it down like half the speed, and you're like, okay, it's just slowed down Black Sabbath riffs. Right, okay, I get it now. which I like. But yeah, it's not my favourite album. But yeah, I think Everyone Knows You're Insane is one of the best Queens of the Stone Age songs, and it's on that album, as well as Little Sister, which is an absolute banger. Then they went on to do Era Vulgaris in 2007. That's got Sick 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 and Make It With You on it and stuff like that. So I remember, again, I wasn't sure about this album at the time, and everyone I knew fucking loved this album. They were like, this is amazing. And everyone I know played it constantly, and I was like, I don't get it. I really don't like this album that much. In reflection, it's really, really good. And I don't know why I was so against it at the time. I think in 2007, because indie had got so big, I was rebelling against anything that sounded like classic rock and roll in 2007. I was like, listen, if it's not metalcore or I can't crab to it, I don't care basically. So that is why I disliked this album at that time, because I just hated all of that kind of stuff. But in reflection, it's really, really good, actually. I really, really liked it. And then moving on to Like Clockwork that we've spoken about. Honestly, I think that this album is a mini masterpiece. Like I said, after he was bedridden, he had knee surgery, and then he actually died. He got pronounced dead. Well, he like his heart turned off for like a couple of minutes, and then they brought him back to life from all the complications that he had from the knee surgery. And then he was bedridden, and then he had depression and everything. And then the other guys in the band dragged him out of his sort of depression into the studio, and he wrote Like Clockwork, and it's like probably praised as musically their best album. Like it has critical acclaim that it is just, everyone listens to this album just goes, oh, that's fucking unreal. How the fuck did he write that? But it's very dark, and it has a lot of it's very, very depressing meanings behind the songs, but still really good. And then Villains we already spoke about, which obviously was produced by Mark Ronson, which is great that Stu noticed that it was had a much more dancey vibe, because then you're like, oh, Mark Ronson, yeah, it makes
choppy
sense.
guitars and like the rolling bass and all that kind of thing. You can definitely see it. That's like what I can see myself jamming to live anyway. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah. Live
proper pick me up tunes.
Yeah, live. Anything off Villains is really going to work, I think. Definitely. I think anything off Villains will be good. Like I said, I like it. I like The Way You Used To, Fortress, Head Like a Haunted House, and Villains of Circumstance. So it's still got some really great songs on it. It's just not one of my favourite albums overall. And then we reached the new album, In Times New Roman, which is amazing, I think. I think it's really good. Like I said, it's they go back to the Era Vulgaris era, where it's sort of more crunchy guitars, a little bit more bluesy. They've kind of gone away from the Mark Ronson dancey kind of thing and kind of gone back to a little bit of what they do, but they're still stepping in a new direction. But yeah, it's all about his divorce. So the songs hit really hard. And if you read the lyrics, you're like, whoa, fuck. But yeah, Paper Machete, Carnivore, What the People Say, Emotion Sickness. It's got some fucking bangers on the new one. So like you said, you didn't see anything on the set list.
No.
I really, really hope they play some songs from this
Well,
at Download.
Surely they will. I mean, I didn't even know this album existed till you just said that, because I've only listened to the set lists. I didn't look at the new releases, you see. So I didn't even know this album existed. But you just saying the songs, Carnivore, that was on repeat constantly last year at Download, if you remember. That was one of the adverts that was on repeat. Oh,
yeah, of course. Of course it was.
Yeah, that little riff, that was on constantly between Fish and Chips and, I don't know, Heineken or something. That was on constantly.
Yeah.
Ready, rideable now, are you?
Oh, fucking hell. Fuck that bitch.
I think it's the first time I've said that on the podcast. First time I've said it ever, I think, maybe.
Oh, God, yeah. That was really annoying. But yeah, go on.
I don't think I spent enough time sat at the main stage to notice any of them. Yeah, I might have heard it once or twice, but didn't realise how much it was repeated. Or I was just that drunk and I didn't notice. But yeah, after the festival, I was like, what's all this about Fish and Chips? I never noticed that.
You must have noticed. How did you not notice it? Like, okay, I'll admit, I didn't spend that much time on the main stage last year, but I still remember that.
Like, Stu got me very drunk last year. and the Dippy Donuters. It wasn't my choice. Hang on, that sounds really bad. It was my choice.
That sounds like you were forced. Were you forced to drink?
Spike
Stu going, shut up, you little fucker. Drink that drink.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice. I didn't notice how annoying.
Did you actually go backstage, really, or were you so drunk that Stu put you in a portaloo and said, "Adam, you're backstage"?
Yeah, might have been. I don't know. Might have been.
I didn't think it smelled like this.
Yeah, it was cool. We were just.
Yeah, wow, backstage area, man. Fucking hell.
But yes, no, I cut. Which one? I can't even remember. I cut one of you off. I can't even remember now. Simon, was it? Was it you? Were you going to say something?
Why have you forgotten?
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah. So Stu was saying that you didn't know this album existed. So yeah. So I didn't remember that it was that song actually. So yeah, well remembered, dude. You got good memory. But yeah, it's worth listening to. It's really good. I really, really, really enjoyed the new album. And like I said, I hope they play some stuff from it.
Nice. You know what? You've done what you normally do when you're talking about music, and you've made me want to go and listen to pretty much all of those albums. Your superpower. But no, I think it's good. I think it makes sense when you know a bit more about an album. When you know the album, you said that he was depressed and he's bedridden, and the rest of the band came and got him out and dragged him to the studio, and like that will make most people want to listen to it more when they know like the headspace that he might have been in. You want to try and work it out and be interested in it. So
yeah, it's like that thing that when you read the lyrics and you have an interpretation of what the lyrics mean, and then you read what the lyrics are actually about, and you're like, whoa, that is not what I thought that this song was about at all. Like that's happened to me loads, and I get that with albums as well, where I'm like, I think I know where he was when he was writing this, and then I'm like, actually, no, not at all. I was completely wrong. So it is interesting when we delve into music like this a bit more detailed.
Yeah.
And like some of the albums you want to listen to because you're like, oh, I like the story behind this album. Or, now if you listen to Songs for the Deaf and you go, I'm just going to imagine myself driving through some fucking weird desert. And you're going to go, actually, yeah, I can vibe with this now because I get it. Yeah. So that is cool.
Yeah. And I forgot, I did really like that album, didn't I? I was surprised at how much I liked the album when we covered it. Just over a year ago now, wasn't it? Album's released 20 years ago in 2022?
20 years ago in 2022, yeah.
2022. Yeah, that's right. Nope. Oh, bugger it.
Bugger it. But yeah, no, I thought you would have liked that album anyway, because like I said, the rhythm section in that is fucking unreal, which probably subconsciously you were listening to and going, yeah, okay.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I don't hear it, but I feel it. I feel it subconsciously.
Yeah. I think what we should do now is we should get songs, right? Take out all the rest of the instruments and just leave in the drum tracks, and you have to listen to them.
Okay. Just listen to drum solos.
Just the tracking of the drums. So just the drummer. Take out everything else. So you just hear that. And then once you've listened to the drum track version, you can listen to the actual song.
Right.
So then you're always hearing the drums before you hear anything else.
I'd be up for doing that to see if it works. To see if it can actually make me listen to the drums. Because, I mean, bass is the kind of thing that most people don't hear.
True.
But, I could always hear that and everything. You kind of tune your ears into it, don't you? You tune, and you get used to it. Maybe I was deliberately tuning out drummers because I didn't like drummers.
So, I love picking out a mix. Like, I'll listen to it with my guitarist ears on, so then I listen to the guitar, and then listen to it with the drummer's ears on, and then I listen to the drums. You have really good songs every now and then that you can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's good that you can do that, because I feel like I can do that as well, where you just like, oh. But also, randomly, some songs that I've heard like a million times, and then I go, whoa, what the... Wait a minute. I rewind that and I go, I have never heard that in this song before, ever. I've listened to the song for like 20 years. I've never heard that guitar part or fucking synth part or whatever.
Randomly
that
hear
really
a triangle
playing
like all the way through or something that you've never heard before.
That freaks me out, man. That's like that thingy effect. Mandela effect. Because I'm like, that wasn't in the song before. That was never in the song before, I swear to God. So yeah, that freaks me out every time that happens.
Yeah, well, that's similar to you pointed out to me about a song I really liked and listened to loads when you listened to the Self-Deception song. I think it's Psycho, was it? And you were like, this has got the the scream in it. I don't know what it's called. The Wilhelm scream.
Oh, the Wilhelm scream, yeah.
And I was like, I've never heard that. And even I listened to it with my headphones on to try and hear it. And I could only barely hear it when I did hear it. But now I hear it every time. It's weird. Like, even if I'm not even concentrating on the song, like, it just sort of breaks me out of immersion of what else I'm doing. It's strange how that happens.
It is, yeah. Once you've heard it, you can't unhear it then.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in there. That's it.
What song was that? Because I'll have to listen to that.
Self-Deception, Psycho, or
okay.
Psycho.
So, because I know the Wilhelm scream, like from movies, but I didn't realise people were pointing into songs as well. So I have to check
songs,
that out.
yeah. Yeah. Whenever I hear it, or when you hear it on a film, me and Vicky always go, oh, Wilhelm scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, there it is, the classic. But yeah, I've never heard it in a song before. That's why when I said to him, I was like, there's a fucking Wilhelm scream in this song. What the hell? It's so weird.
But yeah, Stu, I didn't know about you until so you did the whole page of on our Discord about our little bios. I didn't know you went to uni and studied music production and all that as well.
Yeah. I mean,
so
you won't believe it now because I've probably forgotten everything. But but yeah, I went through like the GCSE music, BTEC, music tech, and then into sound engineering and production at university, Birmingham,
nice.
Birmingham City. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have to go far then.
No, not at all. I could still live at home.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. What did you? Was it like a normal grading? Was it like a 2 whatever or 1 whatever you normally hear about unis? I don't really know how all it works.
It's just numbers in a piece of paper.
Okay.
So I got a 2-1, which is like the one down from a first, I suppose. So.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, it's all good.
Nice.
Yeah, live music, studio recording.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, I was just really surprised when I read that, when you put it on there. And now you're obviously talking about being able to pick things out in the mix. I thought I should bring that up as well. Just
mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose it helps.
Yeah. So I did music production at uni, but I failed the first year. I just played World of Warcraft all year, so I failed the first year and never went back. I didn't really learn that. Well, I didn't learn anything. I learned nothing at uni. Really. Do either of you have any more? Do you want to talk about Queens of the Stone Age?
Well, I was going to mention about the come on stage, they play the guitars, the drums, instruments, and then that's it. If you know what I mean, they're not going to put much of a stage show on. But I was thinking, do we think Download are going to have the towers again? Would that bring? Simon's shaking his head. No,
no, definitely not. No, they were Metallica's.
Yeah, there were rumours going round, but I think that was while we were at Download as well, that Download were going to buy them off of Metallica after their tour, but who knows whether...
I would love to have them back because they were fucking amazing. They really you could see how much value they actually added to the show.
Yeah.
Although they only had the lights on them when Metallica were playing, and not when bands like Slipknot were playing. But I would love to see the towers, but I'm pretty sure that they won't be there.
Not going to happen,
unfortunately.
No. I just wonder if they'll be able to give anything else that'd give it a bit more pizzazz, if you know what I mean, for a headliner.
Yeah, like their show looks good. Like if you watch their 2023 gigs, like they've got, the set looks nice, but there's no flames or fucking pyro or anything like that.
Bruce Dickinson running around the stage, having different levels of it.
Yeah, like they seem really cool. He seems really funny live. They seem like they're having a great time. Everyone watching them is like, this is fucking awesome. But yeah, they're not. No giant guy's gonna come out,
like a giant
walk around him and
Dave
just be
Grohl.
like, oh, now you're talking. Now you're talking.
We won't need the towers anyway because there'll only be about 15 people watching them, so we'll get right to the front. I'm sorry. I said that first joke I made was going to be the only joke.
Dude, they're not Biffy Clyro. It will be quite round for Queens of the Stone Age. They're not Biffy Clyro.
Yeah. But you know what? I know I've made a couple of jokes. I've made a couple of jokes to you outside of the recording, Simon, about how they're indie and everything. But I'm not. It's just for humour value. I think after we've spoken, obviously we've spoken to Jenny and Danica from the booking team, and I've listened to loads of podcasts recently of people who were interviewing them, and I trust them. It doesn't matter whether I like the band that they're putting on, or because I've seen a lot of people online as well, basically saying the same things, like does anybody actually like Queens of the Stone Age? But it's not just the Download booking team booking bands they want to listen to. They are, they'll be good friends with a lot of the promoters that do the big gigs all across the UK. They know what they're talking about. When they make bookings like that, they would have been talking to as many people as they can about, whether they think they'll be big enough to headline. So it's not, I trust the booking team. I know they'll make good decisions, the right decisions. So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, or anybody else's for that matter.
No. But I think there'll be, people aren't going to go, they're not going to go, oh, fucking hell, not Queens of the Stone Age. Don't want them to fucking play. Fuck them, So, for some reason, everyone hates Biffy Clyro. I don't know why. They're even heavier than Queens of the Stone Age are, but whatever.
Yeah. I think there's varied choice, isn't there, this year as well? I think it's going to be the older crowd at Queens of the Stone Age. Younger crowd have got, Busted or Bad Omens to choose from. So, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
I'm mentioning Bad Omens. I've been thinking the last couple of days as well, because it seems like there's a few bands that have only. This is going off a little bit now, but there's a few bands that have just really blown up recently and are up there, like Bad Omens. There's a few others that I can't think of. Well, we talked about Sleep Token, even though they've been going for a little while. But I was thinking, are we seeing the same kind of explosion of bands like we did in the sort of 2000, 2001 with, we had Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, we had so many new metal bands just exploded, and they've remained at the top. If most of them play, they'll be playing close to the top, if not headlining. And we haven't had many bands since then that get as big. So I was thinking we might be going through another sort of explosion of these bands, and in 20 years' time, they'll be the ones headlining. Bad Omens. I really cannot think of any more. I know Bad Wolves are usually in and around that area.
I think possible. I think similar. I don't think as big. I don't think for the foreseeable future rock music will ever be anywhere near as big as it was in the early 2000s. But I see what you mean. Like an upcoming crop of bands that have sort of jumped from small, gone past medium, and they're now headlining stages.
Yeah,
they've sort of jumped past that middle bit, which Linkin Park and Papa Roach and all those fucking bands did, because they just went from here to we're here already. We've missed out all that middle bit's gone. It does kind of feel like that, especially with bands like Sleep Token. They've only been a fucking band since 2017. They're fucking. Headlining the O2 it's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
but since like I was saying, since like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, all those bands, it's taken bands a long time to build their way up, like Bring Me the Horizon did. If a band would blow up really quickly, they usually drop off just as quick, not long after.
That's true.
But I think these bands that are blowing up now are going to stick around. And,
I think
that's what makes. I think that's what makes me think it's as similar to the explosion that we had when we were kids. I don't know. It's weird because we're an older generation now. We're not in school when this is happening, and every one of our friends is talking about it. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. Good though. Good observation.
I've been thinking a lot. I have too much time to think to myself.
It's the TikTok effect. It's what can you dance to on a TikTok and it make it look
exactly
good.
Yeah.
Bad Omens, Sleep Token.
It's true though. Back in the day, it was whatever was on Kerrang got big. Mm-hmm. Now it's whatever's on TikTok's big. Yep, it's the same shit, just different way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speaking of Kerrang TV no longer going to be a thing. R.I.P.
No.
I mean, it's been done for a long time anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a dead channel for like 13 years. So,
well, the specials that
surprised.
they did back then, like Mark Hoppus presenting top 10 dumbass pop punk songs, is still being repeated to this day. And I was watching that when I was getting home from school. So I don't think they've done much with it for many yees now. But R.I.P.
They've recycled it. It's sad to see because it was such a big part, definitely, of my childhood. Kerrang was massive, huge part. We used to go to parties where everyone was getting drunk, and we would just have Kerrang on.
Yeah.
While you were getting fucked up. Like, it was just because it's like, well, but there's no playlist that we can make unless someone's got a fucking CD. So Stick Kerrang on, innit? That's the playlist. And then let's get mashed.
That's it. Adverts
Amazing.
come on, flick onto Scuzz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
And now I guess parties every day just play TikToks, do they? And
that's what they do. Everyone sits like this and they go, shh. And they're just watching TikTok. Yeah, cool.
I think we should make our own TikToks this year. We'll do some download thirst traps this year.
Thirst
what? What is that? I don't know what that is.
It'll get the views anyway.
Yeah, that's what we want. We're all about the views. I don't care about it.
We'll
care
sell
about
out
the fans anymore.
If anyone's listening.
Yeah, we're all about the views. Yeah, we don't care about.
We're willing to do
else.
what it takes.
I don't know what it takes. What is it? I don't know what you're talking about. What's a thirst trap?
It's where the skimpiest Swedish metal band T-shirt that you've got.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
And we'll record
You've got to draw in the casual audience with sex, and then you promote your product.
Sex sells.
Yeah, it really does.
Awesome. Yes. You know, I have put a couple of videos on TikTok recently, and they've done really well.
Oh, there you go.
Good.
Right. Well, we should wrap it up there then, and call it the end of this episode. But we will be back, all three of us, for the next episode, which will be all about Fall Out Boy. We're going to be doing the same as we did this one, a deep dive. We'll go into the setlist, that's the one. All of the albums as well. Do you know what? I haven't listened to much Fall Out Boy so far yet. Well, I will be listening to a lot more.
I have never listened to a Fall Out Boy album from start to finish.
Haven't you?
Nope.
You know,
Interesting.
So
I know the
next
big
few
songs,
weeks will be, I know quite a few songs, like quite a few songs, but I've never stuck on a Fall Out Boy album, so it's going to be quite interesting to see where it takes us, I guess.
Yeah, nice. And I know I've said before, I absolutely loved the first album. I don't know why I never went back to listen to any other albums, so it's going to be interesting for me. I don't know whether I'm going to love all of it, or might be a couple of albums that I like more than others, but
it might
be interesting.
More than you bargained for.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know what to expect from them on like album wise. So I'm excited to see where that's going to take us.
Yeah, just curious. How many of their songs do you think you know?
See, after listening to the set list, I know a lot more than originally thought.
Okay, yeah, I should listen to the set list.
6 or 7, I would say. That I
right.
probably know and quite like.
But I thought I hated the new sound, like the new style, but turns out actually I love it, so I will be watching them for sure.
There you go. Okay, sweet.
Awesome. I expect I will probably be watching them, but it's going to be interesting. Going to be nice to go back and listen through all their stuff as well. So yeah.
I'll be watching the last half of their set, because they're playing the same time as Fear Factory, so that's a no go for me.
But
I will be watching the rest of it. So yeah,
awesome. But yeah, that's something we'll go through in huge detail. Maybe not huge detail, in a lot more detail in our countdown to download coming up in the couple of months just before download. But so for now that's it. Next episode, Fall Out Boy. We should say a massive thank you to our Patreons, and we have a new Patreon this week.
Ooh.
And I sat down and wrote down all the names in a document beforehand. This episode.
Fantastic, great. Finally, it's only taken 64 episodes.
64.
Or whatever the fuck it is.
Cool. Yes. So our new Patreon is Matthew. Thank you so much for joining Patreon. Your support means so much to us. Also, James Harrison, Alexander Toon, Dan Jacobs-Cross, Dean Delicado, Christopher Hambridge, Henry Richardson, Ben Saccone, Scott Seager, Christopher Henderson. Oh, Matthew's at the bottom of the list. Matthew again, thank you. Everything you give us means a lot to us. Everything you give goes back into the podcast to make it bigger and better for the future. We really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to join the Patreon, you can do. You can find the Linktree in the episode description. Anything else that you might want is in there. The social medias, email address, all that sort of stuff is where you can find that sort of stuff. What? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we've got a couple of YouTube channels to plug. It's not just Simon this time. Stu also is on YouTube. So, Stu, why don't you tell us about your YouTube first?
So, YouTube, I am just going to be sticking with doing the long form content, if you will. So for any festivals or any gigs that we make a weekend of, I will be on YouTube. Otherwise, you can get me on Instagram and now TikTok, because I'm selling my soul to the machine. So I'll be on either of those. As Instagram is smtv__IG, and TikTok is smtv__, I believe. So I'm just doing weekly videos, starting to do bands I think you should see at Download. You'll see those popping up each week. And then I've just got some of the silly things that seem like an incredible idea in my head, but somebody else might think it's fucking stupid. So I'll see you there.
Nice. And Simon?
Yes, by the time this episode is out, my Monsters of Rock, the history of Monsters of Rock, part 1 should be up on YouTube. So go and check that out. So yeah, for the next 2 weeks, it's all about Monsters of Rock. So yeah, the festival that led to Deload Festival.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I have been looking forward to it ever since you told me about it. Also, I might go and look at more videos about concept albums, but that also might be a good idea. If you're in, I don't know how many concept albums you know, but after we were talking about it earlier, I thought, you know what, I like concept albums, or I like the concept of concept albums. I want to know more.
Yeah, no, concept albums are cool. They're cool.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
I don't always get them, because Seventh Son of a Seventh Son was a concept album, but I don't really understand how or why. But I never listened through all that, like listened to it while reading through the booklet or anything like that. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know any of the words or many of them.
Oh, as a Maiden fan, you definitely should research that, I think.
Yes, I should. But yeah, anyway, talking of TikTok. So, like I said, we have been putting a couple of little videos on TikTok recently, and I out of the episode, I think it's got us a lot of followers. We've had a lot of people going back or starting from the beginning and listening all the way through recently, which is cool. But yeah, talking of TikTok, I know I said a little while ago I was going to be making my own YouTube channel. I tried it. The episode was a lot shorter than I was thinking about. So now I'm you said about selling your soul to TikTok. I am leaning more towards, instead of trying to make it longer, make it shorter and just do shorts and TikTok videos. I don't know which one I'll go with yet. I want to do more long form YouTube videos, but at the same time, TikTok might be my best shout for what I want to do. So, I'm still working on it. I know I said that about it ages ago. I don't know if anybody was actually waiting on me to do it. I know Jacobs said he went to YouTube straight away when I said, "Oh, it'll be out by the time this episode's out," and he couldn't find it because I didn't do anything with it. But
that'd be why.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I don't know if I'm going to be selling my soul to TikTok or not. But yes, that's it. We got to go. Thank you for listening. Join us on social media. Come and join the Discord. The Discord's awesome. Stu pretty much runs it, although it just runs itself.
Sorry, that was meant to be a D for a Discord. Sorry.
D for Discord.
I ended up moving my mic and everything.
Knocking everything. It's chaos. Yeah, no, you have put some really cool things in there. Everyone behaves pretty much, so it kind of runs itself anyway, doesn't it? But you're there to sort anything out if it needs sorting out. Does it run itself? I don't know. I don't know if that's just like basically saying your job is worthless.
Yeah, but you can get rid of me now. That's fine. I've done my bit.
Yeah. I didn't mean for it to sound like that. I just
do you actually do anything?
I just assume you don't have to do too much anymore.
Well, no, I just keep on top. Really, if I see there's messages in there, I drop in, make sure everyone's happy. We won't have any negativity or anything. So yeah, that's it really. Cool. Keep an eye, make sure everything's positive. If there's anything, any fresh ideas I think of that I think will get people involved more, so I'll throw it in there. Leading up to Download, we're obviously going to have more little mini events or maybe some online meetups, if you will. So if you're into that, if you want to speak with like-minded people who are going to Download as well, come and join.
Yeah, come and join us on everything you can. Leave us a review wherever you can. or give us like the star ratings wherever you can. That'd be amazing. And do the same for both of these guys. Their YouTube, all of their stuff will be in the show notes as well, the episode description, show notes, whatever. So for now, from us, thank you for listening. It's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Stu.
Thank you and goodbye.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.